As I said, the Have a Football Hut is a football analytical institution. We don't deal in anything illegal. We don't deal with any money laundering or any bribery or corruption. That's not what our institution is about. We are pretty much as close to a charity as you can get. Those people that said I did those things are lying. I never paid anyone. I've never been involved in paying anyone. I've never been involved in any kind of payment. Football is just football, and there are people who've approached me. There are people who have tried to get me involved in such illegal activities, but I've said no. I have rejected every single kind of advance. Have hope. I have several charities. I am a philanthropist. I help children. I help so many different organizations that if I was somehow in any way either implicated or even involved in paying money to bribe teams to somehow throw a game in a final, my organization would be finished. All of those charities, all of those organizations that I'm linked with, do you want to say UNICEF? Do you want to say the World Wildlife Fund? Everything. All those organizations I'm linked with, they would be done. Chelsea was simply the better side. Hazard, aka Zard, again, that's not me, but some people will call him Zard. He showed up and he showed why he's top 3. So there was no reason for me to get influence. And I know how it looks. Arsenal were the clear favourites. They should have won. And there were mutterings around that a payment was being made. But that video put out Zard's Destiny. That video, Zard's Destiny, that was falsified. That wasn't me. Look, I've got to head out. Okay, I've got to head out now because these guys are sweating me and they're coming for me right now. Look, no. I told you, you said that everything would go fine. That once that payment went through, nobody would know. I'm now answering questions. They're now putting me in an interrogation room. Do you know I hate interrogation rooms? Do you know how much I hate interrogation rooms? If you look at that video, and I've got my tech team to look at that video specifically, the video was falsified. That's not how I look like. There are computer-generated images used to replicate someone like me, to act like me and talk like me, so that actually isn't me. That video was falsified, and we are walking around the clock to find out who it was that put that out there, because I don't think you understand how much I have to lose. Nah, I'm out. Look, bro, I've called the academy. Maybe they can get me something in Siberia or something, man, because these guys are coming for me right now, man. No. I don't think you understand. I can't stay here. I don't care about post-match analysis or pre-match or hangouts, okay? This is my well-being. If I get caught, they're gonna do me in. I'm hearing like 2 life sentences or something for this stuff, man, which is crazy. This is the biggest football analysis organization there is out there. Do you really think that I would risk everything that I've built since 2010 for a Europa League final? I understand. I needed this. Of course I needed this for the narrative. Everybody knows the narrative that I needed this for. And people may say that I was perhaps even tempted. Of course, I'm only human. Of course I was tempted to try to influence it. But again, I was approached by several people, I can't name any names, who said there are things that can be done in order for Zard to fulfill that destiny, in order for Chelsea to get that trophy. Of course, I was tempted. Never fall into temptation. No, look. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't know that I can go to Siberia or somewhere. I'm trying to find a safe haven from a place that can't extradite me. Okay, so that's the only thing I'm doing. Holy shit. Where the hell am I? So here you have it, guys. I had to be forced out here, you know. Certain things go out of hand. But because those things go out of hand, it still doesn't mean that I cannot give you what it has to be one of the most satisfying post-match analyses throughout the whole season, you know. I'm going to break this down. You know, I wanted to do this with a massive, huge meal, but again, I was forced out of the country, and I have not been given safe haven in a place I can't reveal where I am. I'm sorry, because the person who has given me safe haven has said, "We'll give you safe haven. You don't reveal who I am or where you are," and it's cool. And this guy is intrinsically linked to the football hut. Some of you may know him, a lot of you don't, but put it this way, he pretty much created the football hut. So it may be revealed as to who this guy is and why he lives in this Buddhist temple that you see here. So, Chelsea Arsenal. Let us be 100% realistic here. Let's plug out of the matrix and let's enter into Zion. Arsenal were the favorites. Don't let this scoreline or anyone say, "Oh my gosh, well, you know, whoever said." This was a shocking scoreline. Chelsea had a chance. They had a chance. But nobody would have thought that Chelsea would lubricate Arsenal. I'm going to get to Zard. Because this does feature Zard. So if you're a Zard hater, if you're a hater of truth, if you don't really want to, then please leave right now. So coming into this game, Arsenal, they beat Napoli, a team who had just come from the Champions League. They beat Valencia, a team who had come from the Champions League. So they beat two teams who had dropped off from the elite competition of the Champions League. And the way in which Arsenal dealt with Valencia, a team who beat Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final, led me to believe that Arsenal are the clear favourites. They had more of a reason to win this because this was their journey into the Champions League. So everything pointed towards Arsenal winning. When you look at Chelsea's journey, I think the person who was desperate for this was Sarri. Most of the players in this team have won a trophy. Most of the players, if you look at the lineup, the only people who've not won a trophy in that Chelsea lineup, I would say, is Aretha Balaga, I think Christensen, I'm not sure, but I think he may have won an FA Cup. Definitely not Emerson. Not Barkley. I'm pretty sure not Barkley. I don't think Georgia Jr. has. So apart from that, everyone else in that lineup has won at least one trophy, one major trophy, whether it's be an FA Cup, a Premier League, a Carabao Cup, a Champions League, a Europa League, or UEFA Cup final already. So I think that for Sarri, when you just looked at the players he was playing, the lineups he was going with, this was always going to be a competition that he took very seriously. And my worry was, bro, you're playing Zard in the Carabao Cup, in the FA Cup final, you're playing him all of these things. And it's like, whoa. So he was taking this very seriously. And I think it's something that was very interesting when after viewing the game, just looking at people's press conferences and everything. And Sarri, he said that the seeds of this success were planted when they lost to City in the Carabao Cup final, because Chelsea played very well in that final. And I think he may have felt that based on just how well they played and how well they conducted themselves in a final, and how they were able to trust in Sarri's football in a final against one of the best teams in Europe. He said, give him confidence. You know what? If we can get to a final, we can do something special. But still, so coming into this, you're looking at how Chelsea struggled to beat Frankfurt. Everything pointed to Arsenal winning this. But again, as much as I thought Arsenal were going to win, as much as I thought that they were favourites, as much as I feared of the strike force of Arsenal up against the very iffy of Chelsea's defence, one thing I've always said throughout is a final is a final. A final isn't like a semi-final or a quarter-final. If Arsenal had played Chelsea in a Premier League game and FA Cup quarter-final or something, maybe they'd have won. But there's just something about a final where, this is a one-off game. And it's about who really wants it more. Who really wants it more. And I think the shocking thing, when you look at the entirety of the game, maybe it was a case of where Chelsea actually wanted it more than Arsenal, which is insane based on Chelsea already in the Champions League. So looking at that first half, you saw the different approaches that both sides have. I think Chelsea kept possession well. They were moving the ball around well, but there was no incision, there was no precision. And I think you saw Giroud and Pedro both losing the ball in key places. But before I even get into that, Kante starting was a huge boost. I think that was, I don't know whether you want to call it a master stroke, a key ingredient. I believe that was very key in Chelsea winning this because Kante wasn't fit. And even looking at the game, you could tell that Kante just wasn't fit. He wasn't moving as freely as I know Kante can. But I think Kante was 80%. And this is a point that, Danny T made, who obviously from my Talking Tactics partner, he said that a 60% Kante is better than 100% Barkley, which is so true. So I think Kante just being there and just do what you can, bro. Because even you halfway fit is still better than whatever we had. And I think just his presence in that midfield helped to elevate the team, both in a footballing sense and in a psychological sense. But Arsenal were being very direct. They were being much more potent. And you could see just how Arsenal were able to get into danger areas and get shots on goal at a much quicker pace than Chelsea was. So as I was viewing that, I thought this is probably how the game is going to go. Chelsea's going to pass, but they're not really be able to find any kind of tread in the last third. Arsenal will soak up that pressure, but when Arsenal have the chance, they'll be quicker, they'll be faster, and the speed and the sharpness of an Aubameyang and a Lacazette, I think, would eventually make Chelsea undone. So I thought, this this was my view. But then I think when Emerson had that breakaway, and he had that chance when he struck the ball and then Czech made that save, it was like, oh, we've now found an opening. And you saw Hazard gets more and more into the game, because my whole fear was that, how is Hazard going to be able to connect in this game? How is he going to be able to combine with other players and so forth? So 0-0 going into the second half, the game was, you could say, it was pretty even. Arsenal could definitely get in the game. Chelsea could definitely get into the game, and I still felt Arsenal were more likely to score because I just was fearful of what Aubameyang and Lacazette could do. These two halves were very different. The second half wasn't like the first half. The first half was a case of where either side could score. The pivotal point in the game, the turning point in the game, was that first goal that Chelsea scored. Because I just felt that Arsenal would probably open first and then Chelsea would have to react. But I think Chelsea found a rhythm. They found a focus. They were getting much more into the game, and the weird thing was that in that second half, you really saw them sort of merge fully into what the Sarri system is about. Triangles, one touch, pass and move, and try and make progress going forward. Don't dwell too much on the ball. Always look for your man. Keep the ball on the ground. Very intricate. And then when Emerson put that ball in, because look, and it's so weird. I have insulted Giroud and I've said, look, this guy's a classy brick. All he's good for is, he's a useful brick. But essentially, he's a brick who pretty much is not a great player. And of all the times to not only score, but because that goal he scored that's an amazing goal. Because of how low the ball was. First of all, he had to get low, get a good connection on the header, and beat Czech, who was one of the best players on the pitch, who made some crazy saves. So when that goal went in, it was like, whoa, Chelsea have opened the scoring. Chelsea they've put the ball in now. So the ball is now firmly in Arsenal's court. So now it was about how do Arsenal react? How do they react? And I think for Arsenal, there was a failure of a reaction. I felt they panicked slightly because there was a long way to go. There was still a long way to go in the game. And Arsenal didn't have a proper composed strategy to, okay, it's 1-0 down, but there's plenty of time to come. We've got goal scorers in this team. Our time will come. We don't have to force the issue. There's enough time to fully get back in the game. Let's just make sure we don't concede again, but let's just slowly and gently buy the time and try and get this equalizer. But I think with Chelsea, and this is just where they really impressed me. They smelt blood. Chelsea smelled blood. Not only did they smell blood, Hazard smelled blood. And again, this was another pivotal point in the game. Maitland-Niles getting the ball, and I thought it was a foul. But it wasn't a foul. And the key thing is that always be switched on. Because you can't be like, oh, this is a foul, and then everyone stops. You have to be switched on. So Chelsea were like, if this is not blown, let's go, let's move. And again, this is what makes Hazard that dude. Because Hazard was already getting in his groove. And I think when this second goal went in, Arsenal couldn't recover. They 100% couldn't recover. But decision making, I will say this again. I know I sound like a broken record. I don't care. Screw you. It is the difference between really good players and great players. It's the difference between tier 2 and upper tier 2, upper tier 2 and tier 1. Because for Hazard, he got the ball on the left. He waited because he had three choices. He has the skill to cut in and shoot with his right foot. He could try and move further, get the byline, move it across to a Giroud who had already scored. But he was like, you know what? Let me bide my time, stand things up, make the defender think that, am I going to dribble? Am I going to pass? Am I going to cross? And he waited until the perfect moment for Pedro to come in. Beautifully laid in for Pedro, and Pedro rolling back the years. See, that was the 2011 Pedro. 2011 Pedro, left foot, boom, into the corner pocket. Once Chelsea scored that second goal, game changed. Because I thought how it would go was that Chelsea 1-0, Arsenal 1-1. And I think at 2-0, that was a psychological, mental body blow for Arsenal. And I think, I don't know whether you want to blame, I mean, because there's so many elements. Because we've got to talk about Ozil, but there's so many elements here. Do you blame Emery? Maybe. Do you blame the lack of a leader? Because Arsenal did not have a leader on that pitch. Koscielny is not a leader. There was nobody in that Arsenal team who could say, guys, chill. We're still in this, chill. There was no direction. And I think it was such a mental body blow for Arsenal. They lost their shape, they lost their composure. And Chelsea, they were like, we cannot take over the game. And this was where arguably Chelsea played their best football that they have under Sarri. Because Arsenal were disorganized, Chelsea just got into this Sarri mode, and suddenly everybody was controlling the ball. Everybody was finding somebody. Everybody was on the same wavelength. Everybody was singing off of the same hymn sheet. Everything was connecting. Everything was combining. Everybody was in rhythm. Ball would go to Giroud would hold the ball, give it over to Kante. The runs were being made. Runs from deep were being seen. It was one touch. Guys, it was good, crisp control, good passing, good waiting on the passing. Everything. So what you just saw was, oh my God, this is what this Sarri system could be like. This is what it could be like, but we're now seeing it being put in full-on fruition in a final. And Hazard was, again, the orchestrator of everything, because every time he had the ball, he was making ground, beating players, making the right passes, moving the ones. And I think whenever you see your best player play at a level, because your best player really sets the tones, like what Zidane would do, what Messi would do, what all of these kind of quality guys would do. And Arsenal were just panicking. And again, based on just how good the football was of Chelsea, how they were moving the ball around, passing the ball around, again, they found another opening. And everybody's going to hate on Maitland-Niles. Look, I like the kid. I like the kid. He's done so well this season. I think the occasion got to him. The occasion got to him. For the second goal, I thought it was a foul. He didn't lose the ball. I just thought it was a foul, and he thought it was a foul, but it wasn't a foul. And you now have to look at Koscielny and Socrates to cover for him. And in this, he had to make a decision. He had to do something. And I think Arsenal were getting overrun. He made a decision, made the foul, penalty. And when Hazard struck that penalty away, 3-0, it was like, my God, Hazard has shown up. An assist, a penalty, he's shown up, but to a degree. At 3-0, lubrication, that's when Iwobi came on. And I just think, and I see it was at this point where, look, I still thought that, something crazy could still happen. Something crazy would happen. But I think Arsenal, deep down, they knew they'd lost the game. For all of us watching, we never know what could happen, but I think Arsenal deep down knew that at 3-0, boom. 2-0, let's get it 2-1. At 3-0, that boom. But, look, man, and this goes back to Emery. I don't say Arsenal should sack Emery. And I think that a lot of players have a lot of explaining to do. They have to look at themselves in the mirror. But for Emery, he should have started Iwobi, not Ozil. Iwobi should have started over Ozil. You didn't have a Mkhitaryan. Ramsey wasn't available. You had to start Iwobi. And I just think that certain things in life to just show you when you're wrong. When Iwobi came on, I think the first thing that he did, he actually won a foul. He just brought a better spark to what Arsenal were doing. And whereas Kolasinac kept on failing to put in the ball when he was free on the left, Iwobi was forcing that issue. And even if he's not playing in a strong position outside on the left, he was definitely a better option than a Kolasinac. And when you just saw Iwobi score that goal, because that's the best goal. That's the best goal Iwobi has scored. And this is a guy who doesn't score goals, and people criticize him for how bad his shooting is. And his shooting is bad. But what a time to score. That's probably the best goal in the Europa League. And that's easily his best goal he ever scored in his career. So at 3-1, there was a glimmer of hope. And I think Arsenal knew that we have to get that second goal as quickly as possible, because if we make it 3-2, then we have a game. But as much as Arsenal were pushing for it, Chelsea were pushing as well, because Chelsea were like, these guys are going to have to come out with us. And our passing game is so crisp, we can ride through. And again, they caught Arsenal on the break. And Zard did his thing, man. Ball came over. Left foot sluk. Slotted it home. And I think with that, Hazard said, make me top 3. What more do you want? What a way to bow out for your last game for Chelsea. What a way to bow out. Scoring a G like that, completely and utterly amazing. So when it was 4-1 and that happened, it was game over. It was game over. So reflecting through everything, it's weird, man, because I was reminded of 2006. Italy's poor preparation of the World Cup. There was poor, yeah, the whole Calciopoli thing. Nobody gave them a chance. They ended up winning it. Chelsea, Loftus-Cheek injured, Kante a doubt. The argument that happened in training between David Luiz, Higuain, Sarri storming off. But then again, it may have just worked to their advantage. But I just think Chelsea's performance in that second half was an absolute clinic. I think everyone on that team just completely played to an optimum level. But even more so, I don't even want to forget, thank you, Chelsea's defensive work was incredible. There was one block that Christensen made. I was like, wow. This is arguably David Luiz's best defensive performance. I don't think he made a single mistake. The defensive performance was amazing. And it's so crazy. That is what I was most fearful of. I was most fearful that Luiz is going to make a mistake. Christensen is still inexperienced. But because let's just keep it real, because I want to change the narrative a bit. Arsenal didn't play great. They weren't crap. And it isn't a case of where Lacazette and Aubameyang were bad. It's just a case of Chelsea defense, which was better. I just think Sarri's tactics worked and helped to nullify Arsenal. They didn't give them space. They didn't allow Aubameyang to get many one-on-one situations. They did not allow Lacazette to dwell too much time on the ball or get himself into good pockets. Every time the ball went out wide and the ball crossed in, Chelsea were well positioned. It was a beautiful defense. And the only time that Chelsea were breached was from an amazing goal from Iwobi. An amazing goal that goal was unstoppable. That was an unstoppable goal. So Chelsea's defense was absolutely superbly incredible. And I just think just even the hard work from everyone, from the midfield and everything, was good. So don't say that, oh my God, look at how Arsenal were. Focus much more on the brilliant defensive work of Arsenal. No, sorry, of Chelsea. So I think putting everything into account, wrapping everything into one is a little nice egg, man. I feel that for Arsenal, and I think Ozil's time is up. His performance in that game is indefensible. Completely, totally, and utterly indefensible. Like, you can't defend what he did in that game. He was completely and utterly crap. So, yeah, man, completely crap. Like, you can't defend it. You cannot defend what he did. You cannot defend what that guy did. So I think overall, man, Sarri came up big on a tactical point. Very impressed with what Sarri did, especially because he's been under so much criticism, and I've criticized him so much. For him to deliver a game like that, which is just complete, total, top-notch managerial craftsmanship, I've got to give it to him, man. I've got to give it to Giroud, a guy who I've insulted, coming up with that goal and coming up with such a great target man link play performance in that second half. The defense was beautiful. Emerson played a huge, massive game. Azpilicueta as well. Everyone, Jorginho had a strong game. Kovacic did his thing. So I think, as a whole, the team. How is it a case that Chelsea wanted this more than Arsenal when Chelsea were already in the Champions League? And I think that Arsenal fans, I know, are going to say that these guys, they don't deserve to wear the jersey. These guys are crap, blah, 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 blah. I think that Arsenal could have played better. 100% they could have played better. They could have been much more inventive, much more creative, less predictable. But you have to sometimes give credit to Chelsea. Chelsea's defense was quality. Chelsea's movement of the ball was great. And I think Chelsea executed Sarri's plan a lot better than Emery executed his plan. And maybe it was a case of where Sarri's tactics sourced out Emery's. And the talk was about how maybe Emery has figured out Sarri, and maybe Arsenal are tactically better based on the two games they had this season. So, quality, man. Absolutely and totally quality. Zard, first of his name, the man, the myth, or the legend. I need to know how many haters are left. That's all I need to know. I need to know how many haters are left. I said something out there, and you know what? I fully back it, and I'll stay with it. That in my humble opinion, Zard is the second best player that Chelsea have ever had. Second greatest player they've ever had. I believe I put him above Lampard, above him above Thingy. The key thing was the narrative had to be complete. The narrative had to be complete because him delivering that Europa League, I was like, boom, the narrative is complete. And what is the narrative now? So you have to understand my whole thing with Zard. Because it was Eden Hazard and there was Zard. See, Hazard, when he was brought in from Lille, I was like, no, this skillful player, a lot of ability. But all because you're skillful and you have the ability doesn't mean that you have to be that dude. I keep on saying this. Ability is one thing. Mentality and psychology is another thing. To become the very best, tier one, you have to be actually even more mentally strong than you are ability-wise and what you can do technically with your feet. Because this game really is about psychology and about understanding what needs to be done when you're on a football pitch. So when I look at a Hazard, when he came through Chelsea, I mean, this is a talented player. But all I see is talent. I don't see any psychology. I don't see any mentality. I see no swag. I see no belief in who he is, because that's the whole point. Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, Cristiano, they all believe they're that dude. They believe that now I'm the superstar. Everything revolves around me. I am the centerpiece. I'm that one that everybody looks at. And I think for Hazard, he never really believed himself. He was just happy to be coaxing in his comfort zone and just doing what he had to do. But as I say to people, in the World Cup, something changed. Something changed in the World Cup. And we saw a totally different player. And a player, in my opinion, technically, skill-wise, ability-wise, might be probably the best player that Chelsea have ever had. For pure just talent and skill, ability of what he can do in an attacking sense, I mean, goal scoring, dribbling, facilitating, and so forth. All of these things all put together, perhaps skill-wise, the best player that I've had. Because Drogba is the greatest player that Chelsea have ever had. But being the greatest is different from being the best. Zard is a better player than Drogba. Footballing-wise, Zard is just a better player. But Drogba is just a greater player than Zard. So, coming in this season, Zard was born. He was born. And I'm sorry, guys. I have never seen an individual carry a team the way that this guy did. I've never seen it before. It's never happened before. I've never seen a guy who is so much better than everyone else, apart from Kante. Kante is the only guy where, okay, I think him and Zard are equal. But apart from Kante, I've never seen a guy who is so much better than everyone else in his team. Pretty much carry this team so much, because this is where we talk about the eye test and stats. Because when you look at the stats, the goals and the assists, I think his top 5, top 6 in Europe based on guys who have scored the most goals, and given the most assists. But when you look at the eye test, how much time he has with the ball, how much he's playmaking, how everything goes through him, how he's bringing so many different guys into the game. It's something that you just don't see on the ice, how every single Chelsea attack revolves through him. So there are times when Chelsea may score a goal and it may be someone else who has the goal and the assist, but it actually came and was facilitated by what Zard did, by how he made ground, brought players in, took players out of position, and created the space for the assist and the goal to happen. So the how much he had to do and how much weight was on his shoulders and how he was able to deliver with so much weight on his shoulders, it's incredible. And I don't think either Drogba or Lampard ever led a Chelsea team like how Zard did. So the narrative was very important that in a final, what could he do? Because everybody was out there, was attacking people saying, oh my gosh, if Zard doesn't show up, is Zard going to show up? Is he going to flop again? And I'm hearing crickets. I know, look, guys, by the way, where I am, the sweets and the craft service, I mean, they give you caviar and everything. It's great. So even in my little retreat resource that I'm at, man, people are like, yo, bro, I've been looking online. And I'm still waiting I'm waiting for the triple space. Triple space, man. Triple space. That's what I want. Shout out to your boy Ford, man. So the narrative is complete. He fulfilled his destiny. And when you look at what he did in that game, the dribbling, beating players, combining with players, you just saw a guy who was far and away the best player on that pitch. But being the best player on the pitch is not enough. You have to actually deliver and show and prove you are that dude. And that is what he did in spades in the game. Because when you just look at how he was bringing the ball up, taking guys out of it, and he gave you an assist. And he was able to put away that penalty coolly. And he was able to give you that final goal, which is the fourth goal that really put Arsenal to the flipping sword. What more do you want from the dude? What more do you want from this freaking dude? So, I mean, quality. Absolute quality. And I think I want you in the comments. Please tell me. Please tell me a season apart from Messi. Please tell me a better individual performance based on the stuff that's been around him. Because he's been working with scraps. He's been working with mostly bricks. Because what Messi did this season for Barcelona, look, it's amazing because you're playing with Coutinho and the kind of who are garbage. So, but Messi is different. So put Messi to one side. Have we seen an individual carry a team, an average team, let's be real, an average team in the way that this guy has? That's why I just think it's incredible. So you cannot deny that this guy is top 3. You cannot deny that when you take everything into account, and many ex-Premier League players have said this, he has to go down as one of the best players, most talented players that the Premier League has ever seen. 100%. As in, he's easily top 10, and you can make an argument for top 5. Like, top 10 is easy. Of the best Premier League players of all time, top 10, easy. Then we can have a debate of top 5. I mean, I've got to think about the names. You know, you throw in Henry, you throw in Sol Campbell, throw in Gerrard, Lampard, Cantona, so forth. There are a lot of names that you can throw out there. But he's in the mix. He's definitely in the mix. He's definitely in the mix of one of the Aguero. Because I'm just talking about skill level, what he does, how he's able to affect the game as an individual. Because football is a very difficult game. It's a very hard game. And those transcendence players who are able to affect the game as an individual is different. So Zard delivered. He pulled through. And there is very little anything that anybody can say. So all that's left to be said is, Zard, Chelsea, thank you. You did what you did. And upon all, for your last game, you were able to actually deliver a trophy with 2 G's and an A in a flipping final. If that isn't cold-blooded, I don't know what else is. Zard lives. Next time, listen to your boy, Double H. Peace. Yo guys, the merch store is here. Click in the description box below to take yourself to the flipping Have a Football Hot clothing store, merch store, man. And you can get yourself a nice little tee like this, man.